It's a really unique question, what keeps me coming back to work every day. I really think it is about sharing his legacy with our guests and watching our guests and see how they experience Graceland and hearing about people. This is a lifelong dream for them to come see Graceland, and it was everything it lived up to, their expectations and more, because Elvis isn't here to tell a story, and all we have left are all of these artifacts, and each one of these artifacts has a story to tell. And being able to relate their stories to our guests, that's probably one of my favorite things about my job, is being able to still shape our guest experience, be part of Elvis's legacy, and keep Elvis relevant, 45 years after he's gone. And hopefully he'll be relevant for another 150 years after we're all gone. When Elvis was first looking for a new home, it really wasn't at the fact that he needed a big house. He just wanted a nice, comfortable house that he could take care of his parents, that the family could live in. So buying Graceland is really like the fulfillment of a childhood promise to buy his parents a home one day that they could all live comfortably in. The mansion itself was actually built in 1939 by a doctor and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Moore. The land that it sits on had been in Mrs. Moore's family for a generation. In fact, it was Mrs. Moore's Aunt Grace who first purchased the property. And when the family would go out to her land for barbecues, they would always say they're going out to Grace's land, i.e. how it got its name Graceland. Elvis buys the house in March of 1957 for a little over $102,000. His parents were actually the first ones to find Graceland because Elvis was in Hollywood filming his second movie. He was so excited to get home from Hollywood that he actually got off the train in New Orleans and rented a car to drive all the way back here to Memphis so he could make it home to see Graceland. Actually, when Elvis buys it, it's a little over 10,000 square feet. He made several additions and changes to the home throughout the 20 years that he lived here. It's now 17,266 square feet. His parents made Graceland their home. Their bedroom's located here on the first floor, and after his mom's passing in 1958, that room was later used by his grandmother, who became the matriarch of the house, Minnie Mae. Now, of course, as time goes on and you make additions to the house, each room kind of gets its own personality. The rooms here in the front of the mansion are very formal, where Elvis would entertain family and guests and have dinners. But then you've got the basement, which Elvis finished, which has the original man cave, the TV room with 3 TVs, and then, of course, the jungle room, which started out as a patio that Elvis enclosed so that Grandma could sit outside in the summer here in Memphis. But it was too hot to sit outside, so then he had to put air conditioning in and eventually enclosed it to be one room. The other unique thing about the Graceland property is Elvis did build several other buildings on the property throughout his lifetime. And each of them takes on the taste of that generation and that decade when it was built. And as you walk through Graceland, it's really kind of like walking back in time into a time capsule, because everything that you're seeing is original, down to the drapes and even all of the furniture. When Elvis was here, life at Graceland was never dull, as you can possibly imagine. I mean, everything from touch football games in the yard to epic firework battles on 4th of July. There was always something fun going on here. Elvis was very much, I guess, what you would consider kind of a homebody when he was here. Breakfast was around 4 in the afternoon in the jungle room. Dinner was at 10 every night around the dining room table, and no one was allowed to leave the table until Johnny Carson was done with his monologue. And there's a TV in the dining room that everyone could watch it on. There's actually 14 TVs in the house.
Giving access for little Lisa Marie to come sneaking on down, take herself a cookie, and then 10 seconds later, Elvis is coming behind her to grab himself a snack too.
Graceland really was a home, and you could find Lisa riding her tricycle around the dining room table, or Elvis's entourage members gathering in the den and the kitchen waiting for him to come down to find out what they were going to do that evening, if they were going to spend the evening here having sing-alongs around the piano or watching TV in the basement, or if they were going to go shopping or even to the local amusement park. So it really was that central location that everyone would gather, that was part of Elvis's world. I actually head up the archive staff, which right now we are a staff of about 15 people, and we basically take care of Graceland and all of the collection, but we really maintain the house daily. We do deep cleans 3 times a week so we can keep up with its preservation. But decorating for Christmas is probably everyone's favorite night of the year, where all of us are in here being Elvis's elves. We come into the house as soon as the last tour ends, and it takes us a good about 4 or 5 hours to get Graceland all ready for Christmas. When we come in to decorate the house, the first thing that we do is we hit Elvis's Christmas music. And this past time when we were decorating, someone forgot to turn the music on because everyone's like, "Where's the Christmas music? I can't do this without Christmas music." There are several Christmas traditions that we still uphold today that were started by Elvis himself, which one of them is decorating right before Thanksgiving and turning on the Christmas lights that line the driveway. We put up the original Christmas trees in the living room and dining room. We put up the original lawn ornaments. The very first lawn ornament that Elvis purchased is the Santa with the reindeers with this expression, "Merry Christmas to all, Elvis." And then later he added the nativity scene, which you can see in Graceland's front yard. So he was sharing Christmas, not just inside the house with people who could see it, but with anyone who drove by. He wanted to spread the Christmas cheer. And we continue to do that today. So Graceland gets decorated for Christmas right before Thanksgiving. And like Elvis, they stay up till his birthday, which is January the 8th. I think people that come to Graceland still connect with Elvis on several different levels, but at Christmas time, it's about his humanity and his love. I think that's what they connect with, a simpler time when it really was about friends and family and giving to others and helping others out that were in need. And I think that's the message that Elvis's fans that come and our guests that come today still receive when they're here. That it isn't about the glitz and the glamour, or it isn't about, being on stage and selling out shows. Elvis did everything he did to connect with his fans to make them feel as if they were part of his world. And seeing Graceland at Christmas time really gives our guests that opportunity to be part of his world and connect with him on a different level.